$100 was worth less than a $1,900. That's amazing. Since the Federal Reserve got in, our dollar is at 99% the value. It only has 1% of the value left. And since in 1971, it's only 15 cents in the dollar. That inflation destroys pension plans, destroys insurance plans, it destroys the economy. The hidden tax of inflation destroys us. And the true interest rate right now, inflation rate is not 2-3%. When you look at the numbers, when they take, they take out oil, they take out certain products they want to take out, it's roughly 9% a year. So that's why men like Lee, when Lee and Cruz and Paul said defund Obamacare, that's the constitutional function. Article 1, Section 7, Clause 1 says all housing, all bills for raising comes from the House. So that's why those three senators said, guys, please defund it. It can't be done. We defund every year with the Hyde Amendment, federal funding for abortion. A guy named James Madison again tried to defund the John Jay Treaty for 1795. That is the idea of the House, is to control the purse strings, because that's the closest to the people. I don't believe our founders would pledge their life, their fortune, and their honor, knowing 200 years in the future, the federal government would have 176,122 regulations, would have an IRS code of 3 million words, would tell you how much water is in your toilet, and what kind of light bulbs you have to have. No joke. Do you believe they actually were going to give everything they got if they knew that was going to happen? I want to do one more topic historically, abortion. We're told every 4 years, though, for any Republican president, to get the Supreme Court to change Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade is based on the 14th Amendment. It's called the Prims of the 14th Amendment of privacy. There's nowhere in the Constitution of that phrase. In fact, so I studied the man, Mr. Bingham, who wrote the 14th Amendment in 1866 to 1868. And he specifically said there is no incorporation clause at all. It's to give our mistake slaves, who are now humans, their natural rights of life, liberty, and property. That's all it's supposed to be. Because there was abortions 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 6,000 years ago. They knew it was there. So, we're told, vote Republican, get rid of that. Does anybody know the vote for Roe v. Wade in 1973? The number. It was 7-2. Of the 7, how many were Republicans? 5. It's gone. In the Constitution, how many Supreme Court judges are there supposed to be? There's no number. None. So if you wanted to pack it like FDR wanted, you could legally pack it if the Senate approves it. You could put 15 pro-life guys on and call it a day. I believe they use life to raise money. Senator Lee asked me, Greg, what would I do? And I said, sir, you can't go to the, I'm not going to go to the judge, then I'm in the rule of men. The rule of law is not the Constitution. So how do you do it? Congressman Paul, Congressman Stockman, Congressman Brown have a law called the Sanctity of Life Bill, where life begins at conception, and it does. That sperm is 23 chromosomes, the egg's 23, that merges, there's your DNA. I'm an OBGYN, I know that stuff pretty good. Okay? So you have the Sanctity of Life Bill, life begins at conception. Even Roe v. Wade said if we knew when life started, their argument was it a person or not? Let's err on life. So now you make a law. At the same time, you start an amendment process. Each state, I guarantee you have 3/4 of states say life begins at conception. Heartbeat, 31 days. Neural activity, day 19. We have that debate. We would change it and put it in the Constitution. We don't. We want to keep on begging some judge to change their mind. How about impeach some judges? We got a judge there now who said if the government says, the federal government, it was asked a question when she was up there, can the federal government tell you have to eat 3 vegetables a day? She said yes, and they voted for her to be on the Senate. The Senate voted for her to be in that Supreme Court. Don't be bummed, we're optimistic, okay? When you know the problem, you're over halfway home. When I'm in the pelvis and there's something bleeding, and I find the bleeder, dude, I'm almost done. Okay, and when I say, and the first rule in surgery is when you have a bleeder, the first thing you do, does anybody know? I'm sure you do. What do you do? First, okay, what do you do? How do you stop? What's the first thing you do? Common sense. What would you do?
Find the hole.
Find the hole. What do you do on it? Put your finger on it. Put your finger immediately. before you get a clamp. Put your finger on it. Then you have time, get the right clamp, protect the other organs around it, clamp it properly, go back to your foundational constitutional principles. In the time of chaos is when you go back to the core of who we are. We do that. That's why the Tea Party is booming. That's why the Tea Party is spreading everywhere. That's why the liberty movement is real. The Constitution movement is real. We do not have to, and again, it's not about Greg selling for Greg, vote for Greg. No. The mission. This should motivate you to run for an office, to be part of a campaign, to do what you got to do. We have a civil responsibility to hold civil government together. Romans 13, 1 through 7, God picks the kings. Very important though, is to do good. Romans 13, 3, the same word Paul uses for magistrate, he uses for Satan. We don't bend our knee to the magistrate. It's to do good. 1 Corinthians 7, 25 says, we are bought at a price, not to be bond servants of men. So we have this. This is awesome. All we have to do is stand firm. You'll take some arrows. I know I got a few already. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That's because we came from a point of, he can't win, who is he, Tea Party free, can't do it, to lead in all the polls. Now they want to rip our head off, and we said, okay, all I want is Mr. Tillis, come and debate me, and then after we beat you, Ms. Hagan, come and debate me. That's all I want. So I want to know how in this state, again, Common Core, toll roads, Obamacare, I want to know that. I want to know why our tax rates are one of the highest in the Southeast. So I want to understand this question. I really believe Article 6, Clause 2 is the crux to all of this with the 10th Amendment. Because if the federal government passed the law, it's not written, it is null and void. Yes, ma'am.
What fueled your passion for these babies, for the unborn? And also, when you were in college, did you have to participate in or witness abortions being performed?
College would never be, it'd be medical school residency. And the answer is elective abortions. We didn't have to do, no. And I said no. And I was trained by 3 of the world famous abortionists, but I was not going to do that. On Mommy's Life be something different, and that's, thank God, so far and few between. But no, you're not forced to. Now, there might be some plan in the Obamacare to make that part of the standard of care. There's debate. A lot of Obamacare is scary because it's blank, meaning the Secretary of Health and Human Services can make the regulations. And there's regulations now that half the doctors got to be family practice general surgeons. What I've got out of a lot of stuff I've read is I may have to do abortions, refer for them. That's not going to happen. So, in life, back to life. My mom had me when she was 19. I was that single mom with 2 kids in South Central Los Angeles with a baby. I was the one in the belly, right? That was me. And I understand what freedom really is. And you know, my mom said you could do anything. She always said that. But life is just the precious thing in the whole world. You know, I look at my babies, I look at the ones I deliver. I never had a woman come in my office and want to see her process of conception. I've never heard that. And I see my baby's heartbeat today. I saw one today, the heart baby was 0.31 centimeters. 5 weeks, 6 days, no heartbeat today. So yeah, I love life. I just love it. I just believe it's my turn to stand up. You had a question here somewhere.
Oh, yeah. My biggest concern, I don't know how a Republican or the Tea Party are going to get around the fact that the Democrats have kind of sewed up with all of the giveaway programs. More than half of the people now collect some form of government subsidy, be it housing, Medicaid, and all those things. Who are they going to vote for next time around?
Let me back up. I want to take your premise away because Senator Hagan and Senator Burr both voted for the same farm bill, like subsidized people. Okay? So we can't, this RD stuff has to go away. I believe most people on any subsidy, be from the government or from anywhere else, want to get off as fast as they can. I believe it. I've taken the message to everywhere I possibly can. And when I hear about this low-informed voter, I believe I was that low-informed voter because I didn't do my work. It's going back to tell people that you're freer when you are your own and then freely associate. Is it going to be hard tomorrow? No, but if they were not there, if that plunder wasn't there, something would happen. We gotta get back and take that away, because that does keep them down there when they gotta go up. The sad part, under this president, 11 more million people are out of work in this last 5 years. The top 1%, we're not talking, top 1%, and I'm no, capital's not love, but this is cronyism, have increased their wealth by 2 under this guy. The top 0.5, the 85 richest people in America are worth more than the 50% bottom. The middle class is dying. Is dying because of the government involvement. So the plunder they're taking from us to keep themselves in position has been prophesized by a man. A guy named de Tocqueville came here in 1831. He traveled America, and he said, "Wow, America's special, but America will fall the moment Congress realized they could bribe the people with the public's money." So we just gotta start saying no. I'm not cold-hearted. Senator Lee was not cold-hearted. Senator Cruz is not cold-hearted with the filibuster. They want to say this is the Constitution because we know true laissez-faire economics, true free markets lift all boats. We just have very few men and women who articulate that because they're scared to death. So what we're going to do is you become a vocal receptive and start doing it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid at all.
Do you believe we're going to reach a point where we're no longer be able to pay the interest on our debt?
I believe we're there already, because that's why we're printing money out of thin air. Let's go over some of the debt numbers. It's 17 trillion, it'll be 27 in 10 years, and they pass this thing tomorrow. But that's small potatoes. Paul Craig Roberts was Assistant Secretary Treasury under Ronald Reagan. And he said right now, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security alone, those three are over $222 trillion of unfunded liabilities. 222 trillion. All the money in the world in 2011 was, all the gold, was only $60 trillion. We're there.
What do you think's going to happen?
I believe one of two things. We do it, happens at my house. I've had to cut back tremendously. You cut back. You sell, you cut back, you get back, you do what you got to do. The cool thing about the Constitution is it tells you your functions. You have to guess what you have to do. You bring that stuff home and do that, and we get back to a true constitutional dollar, stop spending when you can't, or we're going to have an implosion, and then the government who caused it will come in and be the hero and empower themselves again and make you a cog in the wheel. It's one or the other. It's been that way for 6,000 years. So we have to say no to that. And that's why it's not, if it's me in DC doing this alone, well, I believe if we have 10 Ted Cruzes, we change the Senate. Because most of them, they're going to follow. They're going to follow whatever's hip and cool. And if those guys are leading, right now they're despised. I heard from people that were in the room that whatever you heard about Senator Lee, Senator Cruz, Senator Paul publicly is even close to what they get privately from the Republicans. The establishment. It make your ears, they say, fall off. It make your blood boil.
The criticism?
The criticism. They're despised. They're despised. What are they doing? They kept their oath. They were non-politicians. This is all three of them. It's their first job ever in politics. And all they did was say, I'm standing firm. So I believe we're at that precipice in time. That's why I believe history will be written about this decade. I believe with all my heart. Was 2010 a blip, or is 2010 the beginning? I believe it's the beginning. I'm an optimistic person, but I know all things can happen through him. But we have to stand firm. When we capitulate, I'm sure that's what I think we're here for. That's what I think we're here for. We're here because I believe I capitulated. I did not do my work. So but I'm an optimistic guy. I always think it's a possibility. But you saw what the Mint did. The Mint stuck his neck out in 10 and backed 10 Tea Party candidates and 8 won. Last election cycle, Grove backed 12 against Tea Party candidates and 9 lost. Grove has a super PAC to raise money to only target Republican, Tea Party people in the Republican Party. He's raised 2% of what he raised last year. Carl Rove.
He did what?
He raised a super PAC to attack Tea Party candidates. He's attacking me, he's backing Tillis. But this year, he's to collect 2% of what he did last year. This is a battle, okay, I believe what Ronald Reagan said about the Democratic Party is exactly what happens today. He was asked, why did you leave the Democratic Party? He said, sir, I did not leave it, they left me. I am a Republican of Goldwater, of Reagan, of Coolidge, of Taft. Read their writings. Read what they stood for. We have to decide, are we McConnell and Boehner and Rove? Or are we Coolidge and Goldwater? Taft. I believe that builds an American that independents, conservative Democrats. See, I love taking this message to people you're not supposed to go to, because I was one of those people. I believe liberty sells. I love.
I got a question for you. In all honesty and fairness, I need to ask you this question because the last fellow that came here looking for the same seat from Charlotte, I asked him this question. And basically he declined to answer the question. As a senator, you would be receiving a really cushy retirement package, even for serving just one term. And you did say that you did not plan to make a career of this, that you're going to come back to continue being a doctor. Would you be willing to forego your retirement package publicly as a senator?
Yes, I would take the pension while I work, like I would any other job, but anything after that, no. There's no need for that. My job now, I have a pension plan. I bid it myself, I own my own company. So I don't think a senator or congressman should not get the opportunity for that. But at the same time, you can't be set for life for that. What job are you set for life after 2 or 4 or 6 years? So the answer is no.
Thank you.
See, on that, would you go public with it and sign it in front of the meeting?
No problem at all. No problem at all. None. Because again, I want to serve. I am a pure capitalist, but being a servant is not the time to make money. Different ballgame. I got to pay my bills, pay my 7 kids and eats. I got to be paid something. A pension plan while you work, no big deal. It should grow during the time I'm there. Hopefully, my last 5 years I did not. My pension plan did not grow at all. In fact, it's 0. But anything after that, unacceptable. Unacceptable. I hope over there, Lee becomes a Senate Majority Leader and these laws get changed. That'd be the best thing to do.
I don't want to go to this, but there's a stink out right now about you.
Go to it.
And I'd like to touch base on what happened, why it happened, and what, of course, I know why they're bringing it up now, because you're on the lead with in the U.S.
All I said very clearly, I cannot wait until next week.
Right.
I cannot wait. My reputation, I will hold up any time, any day. You'll see what happens. It all will be public.
If people would like to donate to your campaign, how can they do it?
GregBrannon.com. Mike has all our handouts. Spencer's here too as well. So Spencer and Mike has our stuff. We'd like to sign our little sheets. We get you on our email list so we can bombard you with information. Our speeches, our papers. We have like a big press conference coming up next week at DC, same day as the court. I'm going up to DC first. And we just want you to be part of the team, but I want you to check everything on, including that. That to me is going to be used for good.
Who do you write the check to?
Greg Brannon, Brannon for U.S. Senate.
Brannon for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, if you want to give a donation while you're here today, you can come see me after Greg's finished.
Okay, what happens, like with the presidential election that we just had, that we had some Republican candidates, and they bloodied themselves up. I mean, it was nasty. And Obama was probably just sitting there arranging his pencils on his desk. I mean, you know, what happens with the candidates that are running, and how do we keep our focus on where we need to go?
I think, well, you and I may disagree what our focus is. My focus is the Constitution and life. I will not waver on those. I like to do triathlons, I work out. If I'm gonna have a race in a few months, or I play golf, I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna work my rear end off. I think I should be bloodied and beat up. The primary should be a time of bloodiness and beat up. On ideas, and on our records. So I believe primary should be a good fight. So to me, it's not hold hands, sing kumbaya. If we do that, then the primary is just a beauty contest. So it can become bloody because it's what it is. Again, I've been talking issue, and the other people have been talking me. Let's go. When you're done attacking me, let me know about Article 6, Clause 2, because you know what? I read it. You know? So what do I know about Obamacare? Oh, I read it. I'm ready for this. This has nothing to do with personality to me. Nothing. And the strongest candidate will beat Ms. Hagan. Only because Ms. Hagan is, people say she's easy to beat. There's no way. They do not want to lose this seat.
No.
The person they can put in up there, I'll be destroyed, and I don't care. I'm willing to risk my life, my fortune, and my honor. My life is not going to happen. I know that because I'm not going to get the bullets in my head. My fortune, we've already spent, we've risked everything. My honor is what I have. That's what's being attacked on Monday, and I don't care. I have no, I'm not a brave person. Well, I'm not a braver person. I'm not, I believe anybody here will stand up for truth. There's nobody here that would not fight the battle for their children. And when they use the word children, the progressives, they use them as pawns. Because if they really cared, would you really truly borrow $1 million a minute? Would you truly expect that little baby, every baby born today is $58,000 in debt today? That's the children? Or force Common Core on them? Think Common Core. You'll be reading at 7th grade level when you finish high school. They're taking out Euclidean geometry, the triangle. And that was done by Mr. Tillis's time in the House. That's why this is a fight on principle. Principle. I will not vote for a candidate who's pro-abortion ever, or pro-choice ever, and I will not vote for him who's not constitutional. And I believe by us not doing that, we became here. Our federal government is 6 times bigger since 1980. 6 times bigger. We had no partial birth abortion in 1980. Now we do. So I want a hard-fought, bloody campaign on issues. But I'm going to be attacked by Mr. Rowe. So it's fine. Attack. You want somebody perfect,